Hello, this is APF 2K Griffin. I'm sorry if this is poor quality, but I just wanted to show you how to hex with the Javo Editor. So first things first, this is what you want to do. You want to have a flash drive, and you're gonna have to want either a desktop computer that is a Windows. It's very hard to use a Mac or a Samsung computer, but you want to use a Windows computer, so it'd be a lot easier. And you want to download the app Horizon, and you want to get the Javo 1.6 editor. So let me walk you through a tutorial how to use that. First, you scroll down and after you download Horizon, you open it. You see, this is the Horizon main menu. Then you're going to inject your flash drive into your computer. Okay, you see how this is loading? Okay, next thing, you want to go to games after this flash drive thing is loaded. And you're going to find All Pro Football 2K8. That's the game what I'm going to use to extract the roster. Yeah, wait a second, it is going to take a minute. Okay, it loaded up. You see how you have all these games. These are all your files. But it's imperative when you went in the game you save the roster, because that's the only way how you can extract your files and all your teams from your roster. I might probably make another video, but probably be in better quality. But that's besides the point. You're gonna scroll down to roster. Did I pass it? Yeah. Then you're going to want to extract the roster. Well, that's replay, but I already have a roster file. So, yeah, you see how I already have 3 roster files. But that's besides the point. This would be a roster, and you will transfer to roster.ros. You see that right here. But the next thing is, you want to open the APF 2K hex editor, Javo. You want to go to File. Then you're going to go to Open. And then you're going to have your roster. Roster.ros, that's the roster that's after you extracted it. That would be your roster. You double click it. Then it's going to load. Then it's going to ask you, would you like to edit your roster in online mode? Then you're going to press yes. You see how your teams comes over, it says roster.ros active on online mode. That's what you want to do. Then you're going to want to scroll back to like 8 spaces back, because that's where your team is going to be. You see how all these generic players in here? Yeah, this is for my team, the Lancers. And these are all my cap players I worked on earlier, but you can work on them by double clicking on the player. So that's my strong safety, Jerron McDermott. You see how it gives you all this space? Javo did a great job on this. So you have your player information, you have your attributes, which is all your ratings, and in a second I'm about to show you how to go to global editor and show you how to use the so you won't have to manually move up every slider, so you can move everyone up to 1 to 7. This is all your abilities. I just put these abilities because this matches my safety. You also could put check all, and you have all the abilities, but bullet time is kind of a waste because it kind of just cheeses the game. So, but if you're on a rush and you just want to experiment, that's what I would recommend. And here's your animations. you have high step animation. You have the generic one, which every player has. You have the Walter Payton high step. You have the Roger Craig high step and the Tony Nathan high step. And here is the generic 2 one. The one where you, I know Kid TV knows this one. This is when you put the quarterback and you do play action motion, and you put the the ball in between the hip, and there's the Dan Marino, Bernie Kosar, and Troy Aikman thing. But I don't know why, but there's a glitch, it might not work. So here's the throwing styles from generic 1, generic 2, and all the pros generic style. I would recommend generic 7 and generic 9 because those are the fastest release forms. And here's the Deacon Jones head slap and the Lester Hayes get low stance. And press accept after you finish. And finally, you press this little globe thingy for the globe editor. You want to go to globe editor. It's all your teams, and you're gonna scroll down to the bottom one where your team is. Like mine is the Lancers. I'm just gonna say, for example, that I put all positions, all attributes. I go over here and it says fixed. And I just type in 127. And I say update. And I said okay, yes. Exit. Then when I want to save, I want to save file. And I said okay. Then I go back to Horizon. And I find my roster file again. I press inject. Like I said, this replay is just an example. But like I say, I press inject. Then I go click on my roster file that I say I have many. But make sure it's always the roster.ros. Because if it's not the roster.ros, then it could be some type of other file like this. Like delete the other stuff. Usually that'd be parentheses 2. But I don't know why it's like that. So I might as well just delete that now. Like just right click and delete it. And delete. But make sure it's always the roster.ros, and only could be the roster.ros. But you're gonna press left click it, and it's gonna say yes, successfully transferred. Then you're gonna want to go to this thing to open package manager. Then this is come up. This is so you can save and rehash and put it through the game, so you can play it through the game. Like what this one said, if you don't save or rehash, the Xbox is like a real computer. It's like when you try to put your hand down in a cookie jar and you leave so many breadcrumbs, it's gonna catch it and it won't allow you to play. So you have to save and rehash so it can allow you to play it, so it can be read by the Xbox. And that's basically it. And one other thing, when you go into the game, it's gonna ask you for if you have more than one roster on the file on your memory unit or flash drive. It's gonna ask you which roster or USB storage you want to use. You can either, if you have it saved, if you converted your flash drive for your Xbox, then you're gonna want it to click on the bottom memory unit. But if it's still at USB flash drive, then you're gonna click on the bottom USB if you have more than one USB in the USB ports. So that's all I have to say. Thank you and goodbye, YouTube. Please reply and subscribe to this video if you liked it.